Take a look at what's happening in the tropics this morning. We continue to track that disturbance over the northeastern Gulf of Mexico. Yesterday it was over southern Georgia. It finally made its way over the Gulf, and now it's expected to develop into a tropical depression likely within the next 24 hours. The water here is really warm. It's going to drift to the west-southwest over the next 48 hours or so, likely to become Tropical Storm Barry before the end of the work week, but still plenty of questions about what it does after that. The system is becoming better organized really just within the last few hours. The National Hurricane Center is going to send one of the Hurricane Hunter aircraft into that system to investigate it this afternoon. At that point, they're likely to classify it as a tropical depression or maybe already as a tropical storm. The various forecast models are in pretty good agreement over the next 24 to 48 hours, taking it to the west and southwest, and eventually they bend it to the north. But that's where the uncertainty comes in. Does it go north and hit the panhandle of Alabama? Does it wait all the way until it gets towards southeast Texas before it makes that northeastern turn? Most of the computer models, which aren't perfect, but they give us an idea of the overall trend, kind of cluster that landfall point basically right around the middle of the coast of Louisiana. The more accurate forecast models, including the famous European model, push that a little farther west towards the Sabine River. Regardless of where it makes landfall and how strong it becomes, there's an outside chance it becomes Hurricane Barry actually before all is said and done. Depends how long it stays over the Gulf. It's going to bring a lot of rain to the Gulf Coast, especially near that point of landfall, which right now the most likely point where all those models are clustered is for the south central coast of Louisiana. And that's where they're looking at the potential for over 2 feet of rain in spots. Way too much. Lafayette, Louisiana looking at approaching 10 inches of rain, over 3.5 inches of rain Baton Rouge. But again, those numbers are going to fluctuate as these bands fluctuate, depending on exactly where that system is going to make landfall. A lot of rain. If you have family or friends along the Gulf Coast, anywhere from the panhandle of Florida all the way west towards around Beaumont, Texas, you want to make sure they're paying attention to the weather. Likely they already are. And we'll keep watching that storm, even though it's not going to have a direct impact on our weather. We had a couple showers overnight, but the radar is blank right now. Big picture perspective, all the action is offshore, but closer to the coast, they'll get the thunderstorms first today. By midday, likely to be some storms around Wilmington and Wrightsville Beach, Carolina Beach. We stay dry through early afternoon, but then by late afternoon into this evening, our better chance of scattered storms develops, especially south of the triangle. A few of those could try to sneak up into the triangle itself. About a 1 in 3 chance of that. Everything fades off the radar after the sun goes down this evening. Looking outside right now, Smithfield, there you go. Returning our camera perspective. Some clouds overhead. Those will slow down the warm up. Same thing from Carter Finley Stadium. But the clouds will dissipate faster than they did yesterday, which means temperatures will warm up a little bit more. Low 70s around the triangle, 73 Raleigh. It's also 73 at Fayetteville and on Fort Bragg, 75 in Grays Creek, low to mid 70s around Cumberland County. Our dogs of the day, Abby and Barley, just a perfect summertime picture hanging out on the dock. The darker furred dog hanging out in the shade, which is always a good idea. Temperatures are going to heat up, so now is the time to get out for a dog walk before we hit the upper 80s this afternoon and before that chance of showers develops. Download the CBS 17 weather app, check the radar before you head out for a walk. Make sure those showers don't develop specifically in your neighborhood. Late storms tomorrow, likely in the evening and overnight, and some of that lingers Friday, and then we'll dry out, heat up over the weekend. It is going to be steamy Saturday and Sunday and into early next week. Quick check at